Hey there! Today we'll check out a luxury bolt-action pen by Modern Fuel, and as you saw in the title, I'll be sharing how to enter to win their titanium one. Welcome to Get It Together, and if you're new here, this channel is just me trying to figure out how to get my life together and sharing the tips and lessons that I learn along the way. Before diving in, there are indeed section timestamps in the description below, so feel free to hop around as you see fit. For full and transparent disclosure, Modern Fuel sent me this titanium bolt-action pen to use and review. They have not paid me, nor have they sponsored this video, and Modern Fuel has not vetted any of the positive or negative things that I have to say. They're seeing this video at the same time as you are. I am pen obsessed, or at the very least handwriting obsessed. My notebook and pens are, by a huge margin, my most frequently used possessions, even more than my phone. And if you're interested in specifically how I use my notebook every single day for greater productivity and clarity, I'll link that video right up here. But in short, I use pens more frequently than anyone that you know. To really give you the best breakdown possible, there are 5 categories I'll be exploring: the unboxing and how-to, the mechanism and manufacturing, the user and writing experience, my personal complaints and criticisms, and the value and pricing. So without further ado, let's get to unboxing and setup. This bolt-action pen comes in a nice soft-touch matte black cardboard box with the Modern Fuel word mark on top and the logo on the magnetic closure flap. I love magnets, so that's a nice touch. But opening it up reveals the pen seated with included accessories, all in a removable thick seating tray made of solid cork. I'll take the tray out so we can check out the contents. By the way, this is the most expensive titanium version. The Modern Fuel bolt action is also available in stainless steel, copper, and brass versions, and I've linked them all in the description below if you're interested in checking them out for yourself. We have, of course, the pen itself, a set screw, a refill adapter, a thin refill spring, and a custom wrench. And are you confused? Don't worry, you'll understand everything as we move right on to setup. The pen, of course, can be used immediately out of the box. It comes preloaded with a pretty ubiquitous Pilot G2 refill with black ink, but it doesn't really matter since you may already have a pen that you really like in terms of glide, ink color, and tip width. And Modern Fuel's bolt-action pens can accommodate virtually every major consumer pen manufacturer's gel or ballpoint refills. World's your oyster. So again, right out of the box, you're good to go, but if you don't like the Pilot G2, swapping is where everything else in the box comes into play, and honestly, it's very fun. This custom wrench is a 2-in-1 tool. It all starts with getting the head of the bolt action screw into the hole in the wrench, and turning counterclockwise to loosen it. Then loosen the rest of the way with your thumb. But a pro tip, make sure you keep your finger on the very top. This is spring-loaded, which means if you don't have your finger anchored at the top, the moment the bolt action screw comes out, this end piece is going to go flying. But anyways, out comes the screw and out pops the end cap and pre-installed set screw that perfectly accommodates the Pilot G2 refill. And lastly, out slides the refill and the head spring. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'll be changing this to a Zebra F07 refill, which, as you can see, is both shorter and thinner than the Pilot G2. This is why the box comes with the thin refill spring, since as you can see, the preloaded spring slides over the entire Zebra refill end to end. So we'll slip the thin spring onto the Zebra. The best way to swap is to line up the included Pilot refill with your refill of choice and see the distance you need to make up for the bolt action to eject the pen tip far enough to write with. Then take the other side of the custom wrench and unscrew the existing set screw. If it unscrews enough to make up the difference in distance, you're good to go. But as you can see, the included set screw doesn't confidently make up enough of the distance for the Zebra refill, and that's where this extra longer set screw and optional refill adapter come into play. Replace the original preloaded set screw with the longer one. I noticed that even the longer screw wasn't long enough for this tiny refill, so back went the original set screw and I slipped on the long refill adapter until it made up the difference in distance. Put everything back in, and at this point, with your thumb or finger pressing down onto the end cap, screw in the bolt action screw, but just slightly, enough for it to stay put. Do a quick visual inspection and writing test. If it's not seated properly, disassemble again and make the micro adjustments needed with the set screw and end cap until you hit your desired length. Lucky for me, I got it right on the very first try, so I'm off to the races and could tighten the bolt action screw all the way with a final oomph for good measure with the custom wrench. With the unboxing and setup out of the way, let's move on to the next core category of the mechanism and manufacturing. Starting with the mechanism itself. Bolt action. Why? A bolt action mechanism is super reliable and uses minimum moving or breakable parts. You can totally lose the cap of a basic pen, and a standard clicker pen has teeth that grab onto the internals, and if you drop it enough times or at the right angle, that entire clicking mechanism can break and your pen is rendered useless. With a bolt action, the simplicity is its strength in reliability. It's this bolt along with the machined grooves that lock into place, so there's no chance of breaking, no chance of lost parts, and as a distant second and third vanity bonuses, it's both super fidget friendly and just plain cool. When it comes to manufacturing, holy crap, is this thing ever well made. There's clearly been a lot of consideration during the design and process planning phase. The absolute coolest thing to me is that the barrel and the cone are freaking two separate pieces. But here, I'll put it under the macro lens. Can you see the seam? Because I can't. It looks like it's one solid piece, undetectable under my macro lens and certainly undetectable with the naked eye. They achieve this by doing a final pass on the lathe against both pieces together, and this creates a fingerprint of sorts. No two cones will match any two barrels. In other words, your pen is truly your pen. Finally, on site, you can see they've opted for a brushed finish. This finish is essentially purposely scratching the surface, and it does more than just giving it this particular beautiful aesthetic. It also ensures that any drops, scratches, or dings aren't anywhere near as noticeable as a polished finish, which means that decades of use won't ruin that look. What I love most is examining the brushing under the macro lens. You can see some angular uneven striations. This is a key indicator to me that the brushwork is hand finished, with what appears to be a 180 grit emery cloth for number 4 finish. I love that. Combining high-tech CNC machining with old-school hand finishing just shows a ton of care to the craft. In short, overall, manufacturing-wise, 10 out of 10. The next core section is a user and writing experience, and right off the bat, I'm not going to comment on ink color, page glide, or tip width, since as you know, you can use virtually any gel or ballpoint refill that you like. From an actual writing experience perspective, the barrel is a little bit thin for my style of frequent long writing and note-taking sessions. I mean, I did a rough estimation over the course of a few workdays, and a combination of phone call notes, meeting notes, process mapping, ideation, and rough sketches, I put pen to paper for at least 90 minutes every single day. And because of that, I have a pretty strong command of writing by hand, so I'm not someone who even grips too tightly. But with my frequency and duration of writing sessions, the sleek barrel circumference made some hand strain noticeable to me. But I also recognize that I'm pretty weird and anomalous. I mean, for most people's point form meeting notes, quick birthday card write-ups, or signatures and initials, the barrel thickness would be a non-issue for most. I love the weight of this particular pen, and also the fantastic balance. To disclose again, Modern Fuel sent me this titanium version, which is the lightest one they offer, and to me, it's a great weight. Coming in at 1.25 ounces or 36 grams with the included pilot refill, those numbers don't really help you out. But the balance, that's more useful information. The weight is really nicely centered, which gives it a nice natural resting against the hand feeling when writing. And for you spinners, I can verify that it's perfect for both forwards and backwards spinning. And while we're on the topic of fidgeting, the bolt action, I mean, come on, it's pretty addicting and fun. An added bonus if you're the type of person who thinks better with something in hand to play with. On to the next main section, which are my subjective criticisms or things I'd hope to see in the next iteration. There are 3, and again, all 3 are mine and might not apply to your preferences. But the first one, I want the option for an included clip. I get why there isn't one. It'd really disrupt the beauty and seamless, sleek profile while simultaneously distracting from the centerpiece that is the bolt action. But I use pen loops with my notebooks, and with no additional security measure to make sure it doesn't slip out, it would make this pen kind of just a little bit more, I don't know, I guess paranoia-inducing for me to bring out because it's such a luxury piece. Second, I personally want the included springs to be stiffer. On the one hand, for rapid fidgeting, the current included springs are great for that minimal friction flick. But when I think of bolt action, I think of rifles, and I love the option for a more resistant and satisfying when you press down on it. Lastly, in a future iteration, I'd love to have a fat version. Again, I'm probably in the minority here since most people don't have the frequency and intensity of writing sessions that I do, but a chubbier circumference would lend itself to greater long writing comfort. As an example, I used to use these Prometheus Writes pens, both a stainless steel version and a titanium version, and was very comfortable with the types of writing sessions that I do for both of them. Those are the 3 things I'd love to see in a version 2. And finally, onto the last section of this in-depth review, which is the pricing and value. This is a luxury piece, and the pricing at $150 and up reflects that. But pricing and value are entirely subjective. Given that we can buy a Bic pen for 25 cents, which ultimately serves the same core purpose, where does that delta get made up? Not only is this expertly designed and manufactured, the generosity of thought in design and finishing is near perfection. But is this for you? If you're someone who always loses their pens, then of course not. If you rarely handwrite anything, then also probably not. But are you at an office job that requires a gorgeous executive pen and you want to be unique? This'll do the trick. Are you an engineer and want a pen that mirrors your profession? I think this is very suitable. Are you someone who works in a field that demands that your everyday carry be tough, durable, and unbreakable? This pen is a winner in that regard. And not to mention, this makes a great graduation or a new career gift as well. In philosophy, this sits well with the buying habits I now have after learning about and implementing certain elements of minimalism into my life. Ultimately, when it comes to things that are everyday carry or everyday use, I'm interested only in forever items that are function and form perfect for me. And as you saw earlier in this video, being that person who writes for well over an hour every single day, this gorgeous, beautifully precise, American-made piece is not function and form perfect for me personally because of how sleek it is. And so I'm looking forward to giving it away to one of you who will get decades of daily use from it. This is a Modern Fuel titanium bolt action pen subscriber giveaway, and here's how to enter. I will ship to anywhere on planet Earth, but depending on where you live, if you are the winner and are outside of Canada, depending on your country's trade agreements with Canada, your government may impose import duties and taxes which will be your responsibility to pay if you're the winner. To enter, there are just two requirements. The first, since it's a subscriber giveaway, you of course need to be subscribed to this channel. So if you're already a subscriber, you're already halfway done. The second is to comment anything pen related below, whether it's the make and model of the pen that you currently use, or maybe what you usually use your pen for, whether it's meeting notes or signing checks, whatever the case might be. You hit both of those entry requirements by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday, November 26th, 2021, and you'll be entered. I choose winners for all of my giveaways the exact same way. So if you're new and are interested in the transparent winner selection process, feel free to watch the end of this video, which I'll link right up here. We're approaching the holiday season, so if you're stuck looking for a great gift for someone special, really special, I've linked this pen in the description below. And by the way, if you like this video and the depth of the review, I think you'll really love these videos right over here. And since I do subscriber giveaways pretty often on this channel, if you want to be in the know, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell notifier so you'll know the moment new videos release and new subscriber giveaways come out. Regardless, thanks so much for kicking it with me, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.